Hey guys, Ultra here. Welcome back to the channel. We're super excited to be bringing you this new video, which is me comparing the 2023 LG 45-inch OLED ultrawide compared to their new release of their 2024 version, excuse me. Now, I do have labels here on the video to denote the two, right? The 2023 model is the LG45GR95QE, and then this 2024 model, right, the one with speakers, is the LG45GS96QB. Now, like I said, the titles are here, right? The 2023 model in the video is on the left. The 2024 model is on the right. Now, if you're new to the channel, really want to highlight that, again, my main focus for this channel is doing POV gameplay videos, right? Specifically trying to bring people into, what it's like to play in front of these displays, with a good setup, with, just overall being able to see an ultra-wide from that true kind of, like I said, kind of more POV style perspective. So that is the focus of my channel. This isn't going to be a totally, super in-depth tech review. I'm certainly looking forward to those when myself, as they get released, hopefully soon, for this monitor. But in the spirit of doing those POV videos, right, that is the goal of my channel. That's the angle I take. And so, of course, I'm going to be rotating displays. And so if you check my channel, right, again, this is for newer viewers. All of my recent videos, or really for the past year actually, have been of the 2023 model of this LG 45-inch. So I'm excited to be doing that now for the 2024-inch. Now, at the very least, though, since for very briefly have both monitors in my possession, because I am selling the 2023 model, wanted to bring this comparison here. So while I'm talking, I'm going to have a rotation of games and game clips just playing here while I talk. Now, just because I know many people like myself even, right, are curious about the difference here. So just to get some of the obvious things out of the way, first off, right, the 2024 model has built-in speakers as well as USB-C port that delivers power. Now, I mean, as monitor speakers go, they're fine, right? I'm primarily a headset player. I would probably advise this in general that, if you're really looking for audio, right, I wouldn't rely on really any monitor speakers. Or I would go either for, independent speakers, right? Some kind of surround sound setup maybe, or again, headphones. But again, they're usable, right? It's nice that they're included. I would argue I wish they were included as an option, especially for the price of the 2023 model when it launched. Now, again, that's just some more of the obvious things here, but really the main question I know everyone has had is brightness and the brightness increase. So again, hopefully you can see some of that here in the clips. Now, I want to note a few things as I talk about my thoughts here. First off, in terms of the monitor settings for both, they are both set to Gamer 1, and most importantly, the 2023 model that you're seeing here, I am not using any of the service remote settings. I say that because, again, I understand many people, even just in principle, don't want to have to go and get a service remote to try to improve brightness on their display. So that is what you're seeing here in the clips, right? There is none of those service remote adjustments here. It's all default settings. And then for the 2023 model, it's default settings. And then again, both set to Gamer 1. And really where the difference is between the 2024 model settings compared to 2023 model is the ability to adjust peak brightness. So there are multiple peak brightness settings that are available on all of these 2024 panels. Now that is set to high here, as I believe as it's intended to be for a lot of HDR content. Now, one other note I want to say as I talk about my thoughts here, but the videos that you're seeing on screen are taken from my channel, right? I along with my POV videos, I do publish 21:9, just pure screen recorded gameplay. I upload them also in HDR output, so that is what is playing here. I note that just because even when the YouTube is set for HDR output, and again you can even enable it in the settings, YouTube still slightly mutes the video, when it mutes even a little bit of the brightness and a little bit of the color. So I do want to note that, because the differences that you see here just in this video, note that they are even a little bit more exaggerated in person if you're talking about the actual raw input from a game feeding either one of these monitors. So again, I think the difference is visible here just in this recording, and again, that's from the YouTube video clips, right? Just note that the actual HDR output when you have a game plugged into either one of these, it's going to be even a little bit slightly more exaggerated. Now, with that said, like I said, the brightness increase is very noticeable, and I would say very welcome. Right now, I want to be very clear that both of these monitors are very high quality screens. We're talking, peak ultra-wide gameplay here, in my opinion, and especially in terms of being OLED screens and all that. So any of my criticism here is by no means calling the 2023 model a slouch, but the 2024 model certainly does have just a more substantial increase in brightness than I was expecting. Now, from a pure spec perspective, right, the 2024 model is credentialed or marked as VESA True HDR 400 Black, I believe what it is. It's the same rating that the OLED G9 has, the QD OLED G9 from Samsung. So if that really, just from a pure credentialing standpoint, right, the 2024 model has that certification, and it's very noticeable. It really is, right? It's most obvious when in between two different types of scenes when you're talking these screens. When you're a full picture brightness, so for example, you're playing Horizon Forbidden West during the daytime out in this like the snowy areas of the map. Dead Island 2, especially because that actually just has an overall very vibrant, gameplay element and feel, especially when it's daytime on the beach. Those kind of full scene brightness, or that kind of full screen brightness is so noticeable, right? So much so that it actually, if I can, anecdotally speak, I've never thought of, okay, I'm going to adjust the brightness down personally with the 2023 model. With the 2024 model, when I set this up day one, I was like, okay, I'm going to turn, peak brightness high, turn brightness up. Like, I want to see what it does. I turned it down, because I play in a dark room, but just to really hopefully provide that context, it was too bright. I was squinting in some scenes. And so it's a very new experience, especially with this model. Again, I never had that at all with the 2023 version. So to see that, again, by the way, that's even with the service remote, right? The service remote does help, but I never was like, okay, I need to turn brightness down. On the 2024 model, I was like, oh, wow, I'm actually, again, I am squinting in certain scenes or certain highlights. Now that's full screen brightness. Again, it's also noticeable again when you're talking very dark scenes. So think games like Last of Us or Dying Light 2 again at night. Again, speaking anecdotally, I was in the spirit of just testing this modder in the first few days of having it. Playing Last of Us, I was playing through one of the intro missions when you're trying to get out of the city. So it's dark, it's rainy, and you're using your flashlight. Now, again, not calling the 2023 model bad or anything, but just by comparison, in those scenes, again, turning my flashlight on in like a darker room, again, and particularly standing close to a wall, again, I was squinting my eyes. I was like, oh, okay, that's a little too bright. And so again, I just want to really highlight that I would say that this exceeded my expectations in terms of what they were going to do in terms of increased brightness, right? Like, this is a display now that officially, I'm going to be looking at from a game by game perspective to turn brightness down. Now, like I said, I do play in a dark room, so perhaps if you're someone who plays in a very well-lit room or something of that nature, then you won't be in the same scenario as I am. But that does mean at the very least that you're not going to be looking at, for example, I know some people look at the 2023 display in those kind of settings and be like, this is too dim. I don't think that that's going to be an issue going forward. Because like I said, I would like to think that I'm not that sensitive to, extreme brightness or anything like that, right? Whether that's playing on any of my just couch playing on my TVs, especially my C1 or anything like that. It's a new experience. It's something that's very welcome. And again, it's not, for lack of a better word, it's not dirty either, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like you're just getting flashed with light and there's no detail behind it, right? When you get your HDR calibration really set with this monitor, again, thanks to it being an OLED, you have all the detail, right? If I can just use Horizon as another example again, if you look at the clouds and you see the highlights in the clouds, it's not like it's not like it's an oversaturation of light and so it's, you don't see the clouds anymore. No, you still see the detail. It's just the highlights especially are really, really brought out thanks to this increase in brightness. Now, with that said, I think one of my other biggest tests when it comes to this monitor was console gaming. Now, I say that because with the PC, something I could do with the 2023 model, I could compensate for brightness a little bit, right, by adjusting digital vibrance or just adjusting some desktop settings. But console gaming, you couldn't do that, right? Console gaming, you're really, for example, PS5, you're just limited to the HDR calibration menu you have, and that's really it. So I always found personally that when it came to console gaming on the 2023 model, that it was always just a little too dim. I always had to go. I would always go into the game settings themselves and turn up brightness. I mean, quite a bit, just to feel like I was getting a substantial picture. That is not an issue at all with the 2024 model, right? I playing through Spider-Man 2 or the Stellar Blade demo or even Ghost of Tsushima, like it now officially feels, I would say, like I'm playing in front of my LG C1, right? Like it now feels like there's no compromise at all in the overall brightness of the image. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is more than acceptable. Like I said, I when booting those games back up, I went back into the individual games and turned their brightness settings down in the options menu to make them playable. So again, I'm just overall, I am really impressed with what LG has delivered here with these new panels. I'm definitely going to be excited for looking at the future generations of this, because again, I know that still the biggest gripe overall with these displays is the resolution. Now, I personally don't think it's an issue, especially for gaming. I totally understand for productivity because of text, but when it comes to gaming, I don't see it as an issue. With that said, though, I would love to see a higher resolution version of the screen, which is rumored to be happening next year. So again, of course, as I'm doing here, I'm going to be very excited to test that out and try them out. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely loving the screen. I'm super excited to be bringing you guys some more POV videos coming up here in the future after this one, and I'll continue expanding on my thoughts. Along with that, I want to go ahead and note I will be doing a settings walkthrough video as well. By the way, this does get me into one small gripe I want to go ahead and bring up about the 2024 model compared to the 23. There's no remote. The service remote I have, and also there's no remote comes with the monitor. I tried using the 2023 remote, by the way. It doesn't work. So just want to note that it's not hard to go through the menus. They actually improved the little nub for navigating on the, below the monitor. So it's not complicated or anything to go through it. But I did want to note that because I guess I got spoiled a little bit and used to the remote. And so not having one is kind of like, oh no. But yeah, I just want to note that. Sorry, just to let everyone know, when you see my settings video, I'm gonna have to kind of come into the frame a little bit just to even show the settings menu on screen. But yeah, with that, I appreciate y'all for watching. Please let me know down in the comments if you guys do have any questions at all. Like I said, I'd be more than happy to help. And again, certainly very excited to be showing gameplay videos coming up soon. But yeah, with that, I appreciate y'all. Please don't forget that like button and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.